The International Court of Justice in The Hague recently became a stage for a serious accusation. South Africa formally accused Israel of perpetrating genocide against the Palestinian people. This is a significant escalation of the ongoing conflict. The term "new and horrendous phase of genocide" used by South Africa has sent shockwaves through the international community. There has been no shortage of heated rhetoric in the long and bitter struggle between Israelis and Palestinians. But genocide is the ultimate crime. It is the deliberate destruction of a people. Never before has Israel been accused of genocide in such a public and dramatic fashion. The implications of this accusation are potentially enormous. If the ICJ were to rule in favor of South Africa, it could have a devastating impact on Israel's international standing. It could lead to sanctions and even military intervention. Even if the ICJ ultimately dismisses the case, the damage to Israel's reputation may already be done. The accusation of genocide is likely to further inflame passions on both sides of the conflict. It is sure to make a peaceful resolution even more difficult. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is one of the most intractable conflicts in the world. It is rooted in competing claims to the same land. Both Israelis and Palestinians believe they have a right to the territory. The conflict dates back to the early 20th century. It has been marked by violence and bloodshed on both sides. Numerous attempts have been made to resolve the conflict. All have failed. The State of Israel was established in 1948. This followed a United Nations resolution partitioning Palestine into two states, one Jewish and one Arab. The Arab leadership rejected the plan. War broke out. In the end, Israel emerged victorious. It expanded its territory beyond the borders envisioned in the UN plan. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fled or were expelled from their homes. This is known as the Nakba, or catastrophe. Since then, Israel has been in a state of near constant conflict with its Arab neighbors. There have been several major wars. Israel has occupied the West Bank and Gaza Strip since 1967. The Palestinians have lived under Israeli military rule for decades. This has led to widespread resentment and anger. Many Palestinians see the occupation as a form of apartheid. South Africa's accusation of genocide against Israel is based on a number of factors. The South African government points to the ongoing expansion of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. It condemns the demolition of Palestinian homes and the confiscation of Palestinian land. It also cites the high number of Palestinian civilian casualties in Israeli military operations. South Africa argues that these actions are part of a deliberate policy to drive Palestinians out of the West Bank. It claims that Israel is seeking to create a greater Israel with a Jewish majority. The term "new and horrendous phase of genocide" is a reference to the systematic nature of these actions. South Africa believes that Israel is attempting to destroy the Palestinian people as a national group. Israel has rejected South Africa's accusations. It denies that it is committing genocide. Israel argues that its actions are necessary to protect its citizens from terrorism. It claims that it is committed to a two-state solution, but it insists that any Palestinian state must recognize Israel's right to exist as a Jewish state. The international community is divided on the issue of South Africa's accusations against Israel. Some countries have expressed support for South Africa's stance. They have condemned Israel's actions in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Other countries have defended Israel. They have accused South Africa of bias and distortion. The United States has been a staunch ally of Israel for decades. It has consistently vetoed UN resolutions critical of Israel. The U.S. has provided Israel with billions of dollars in military aid. It has also offered diplomatic cover for Israel's actions. The U.S. is unlikely to change its position. The European Union has taken a more nuanced approach. It has criticized Israel's settlement activity, but it has also maintained close ties with Israel. The EU is a major trading partner of Israel. It is also a key player in the Middle East peace process. The EU is likely to continue to walk a fine line between its support for Israel and its concerns about the plight of the Palestinians. The accusations made by South Africa at the ICJ mark a turning point in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. They have brought the issue of genocide to the forefront of international attention. The outcome of the ICJ case is uncertain, but regardless of the verdict, the accusations are likely to have a lasting impact on the conflict. The accusations are likely to exacerbate tensions between Israel and the Palestinians. They could lead to increased violence. The accusations could also make it more difficult to achieve a negotiated settlement. The two-state solution, which has been the basis of peace efforts for decades, is looking increasingly unlikely. The accusations made by South Africa are a sign of the growing frustration and anger among many in the international community over Israel's policies. The world is watching closely to see how the situation unfolds. The future of the region hangs in the balance. Like and subscribe for more content like this.